Shift Up has finally revealed the 3 designs that we can vote for Rapi's upcoming popularity poll costume. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and then what I would personally be voting for. So at first glance, these may not be the most unique designs, but I actually think they fit Rapi the most. And another reason why I think they went with these designs is because these costumes usually come with an event story. And with these designs in particular, I think it would be very easy for them to create a nice, compelling, fun, lighthearted story, but also maybe something that could actually help build her character even more. So first up, I wanted to talk about her in the commander jacket. Right off the bat, it looks very similar to Modernia's, right? And some people might think it's boring to repeat the same similar design, the same concept for Rapi. But now that Rapi has grown and kind of become her own person, she's shown a lot of affection towards Commander, and if anything, her new drive is the Commander. And throughout the story, Rapi and the Commander haven't really had a lot of moments together. And compared to Modernia, where she's just wearing the shirt, Rapi's wearing the necktie, the hat, she still has her shoes on, and she has the yes pillow behind her, which has a lot of implications. So I think the event can really build the relationship between Rapi, a much more intimate, spontaneous event, right? Something that Rapi hasn't really gotten yet. So I would actually really like to see that. Now this one's probably getting the most flack just because it's basically just Red Hood's costume, right? Nothing really unique. But again, this is a huge part of Rapi's character, right? I think the reason why people might not like it is because, again, it's just Red Hood, and Rapi has changed, and we've went a long way to finally have Rapi become her own person, right? And people think that because of this costume, it's kind of destroying her character or everything we've been through, which I actually don't think so. Again, this is just a costume. I think it's just for fun. Just because Rapi understands that she'll never be Red Hood doesn't mean she can't still hold the same values as her. And another thing is that Red Hood plays a huge part in the story, not with just Rapi, but I think the overarching story that will eventually get revealed. If you haven't caught up with the latest chapter, they talk about Rapi, her core, her fusion, and everything. So I feel like we'll see more Red Hood, or at least we'll hear more about it. But Red Hood's not going anywhere. And when it comes to the actual event, I don't think the costume would actually roll back Rapi's character development. That just makes no sense to me. If anything, out of all of these 3 designs, I think if this costume were to win, it would be the most lighthearted event. Something along the lines of Rapi's cosplaying, or she decided to wear the costume to try to trick the other Nikkeis and the commander to thinking that Red Hood is back, but then ultimately everyone's just like, what are you doing, Rapi? And then they're just all calling her out, blah blah blah, stuff like that. I don't think it'll be anything crazy. It's not like she's gonna win this costume and then all of a sudden in the story she's gonna change her uniform. All she's gonna be wearing is Red Hood's costume. It literally doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I think this would be the most fun one, and obviously maybe the most eye candy when it comes to actual gameplay. But I actually don't mind it. If it wins, it wins. And now the last one I want to talk about is the pajama one, which is the most unique one out of all of them. But you can also see the similarities between this and the gotcha skin helm, which that one's really good. So if we get the same level of that with this one for free, I can't complain. This one is really cute. It's definitely, I think, the most subtle one compared to the other ones. The other ones has a lot more intricacies, right? But this one is okay, it's sleepwear. Maybe the commander and Rapi have become a bit more comfortable with each other, so she's probably sleeping over a bit, hanging out. I can see it further down the line compared to the design with her and the commander jacket. Or she could just be at a slumber party with the other girlies. But looking at the yes pillow, maybe not. Again, the pillow has implications that I won't go into too much detail, but probably it's more along the lines of her getting more comfortable with the commander, and they've been, kind of dating or something for a while now. So overall, I actually really like these designs. Again, they might not be the most unique, but they actually fit Rapi the most, because if you look at the previous designs and their events, they actually weren't that unique either. If anything, Modernia was probably the most unique one, because I mean, she's also the most simplest character. She loves the commander. That's the easiest thing you can do. Just give her the commander's shirt, right? Red Hood, she doesn't even like wearing dresses, so if anything, that didn't really correlate to her character. While these, I feel like these actually represent Rappy's character the most. It's just unfortunate that the previous two winners are very similar to Rappy herself. So like, again, people are only gonna see the similarities, but again, that's Rappy's character. That's what she's kind of grown into, right? She was literally a Red Hood clone, like a Red Hood clone wannabe. And then again, the story's about the relationships between Nikkeis and commanders. Some are more severe, right? Or more intimate, but Rappy has grown to show that she actually likes the commander and wants to get closer. So the commander jacket it also just makes sense. So if anything, I really like it, and the type of events that they can pull out with these designs, I feel like would be very fun, interesting, and we can see a lot of development with Rappy's character. And I'm personally fine with any of them, but there can only be one winner, right? And my vote, if it doesn't seem obvious already, is the commander jacket. I feel like Rappy needs her moment, and this one looks like it's the most spontaneous, spur of the moment with the commander type of thing, that's not too far off in the future, and we can see some development that can play in with the story or something. I don't know, we'll see. It's kind of hard to play it off as something else, right? At least with Modernia, they found a way to make it more wholesome, right? But with this one, you know, it can get a little bit more spicy. So I would like to see that. But again, I don't mind any of them. So pick whichever one you like. Who cares what anyone else says? And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.